A pleasant day to everyone. Today we are going to discuss this topic, creating and managing supplier relationships. For the objectives, after completing this chapter, you should be able to explain the importance of supplier partnerships, understand the key factors for developing successful partnerships, develop a supplier evaluation and certification program, explain the importance of a supplier recognition program, understand the capabilities of supplier relationship management, and explain the benefits of using SRM software to manage suppliers. When we say supplier partnership, this is a commitment over an extended time to work together to the mutual benefit of both parties, sharing relevant information and the risk and rewards of the relationship. These relationships require a clear understanding of expectations, open communication and information exchange, mutual trust, and a common direction for the future. Such arrangements are a collaborative business activity that does not involve the formation of a legal partnership. Developing relationships. Companies are just beginning to learn what nations have always known. Complex, uncertain world filled with dangerous opponents, it is best not to go with it alone. This is according to Kenichi Ome. There are 10 key ingredients in developing partnerships. First is building trust, and then shared vision and objectives, personal relationship, mutual benefits and needs, and top management support, change management, information sharing and line communication, capabilities, performance metrics, and continuous improvement. Building trust is very critical. This is built in all organization levels and enables organizations to share the following: value, devote time and resources, and of course, achieve results. According, trust does not imply easy harmony. Obviously, business is too complex to expect ready agreement on all issues. However, in a trusting relationship, conflicts motivate you to prove for deeper understandings and search for constructive solutions. Trust creates goodwill, which sustains in the relationship when one firm does not something or does something the other dislikes. Shared visions and objectives. These are the expectations, the reasons, and objectives of the buyer and supplier. According to Len Woodgrant, you do not want a partnership that is based on necessity. If you don't think that the partnership is a good mix, but you do it because you have to, possibly because the supplier is the only provider of that material in the market, you've signed an exclusive contract in the past, or for some other reason, it's not a true partnership and is likely to fail. Personal relationship. This is about the interpersonal relationship. According to Leonard Greenhalgh, an alliance or partnership isn't really a relationship between companies. It's a relationship between specific individuals when you are considering strategic alliances of any kind. The only time the company matters is in the status associated with its strategic alliance. Whoever is interfacing with the other company, they are the company. Next is mutual benefits and needs. This is about having a win-win situation, mutual are given, shared benefits of the partnership, opportunities for increased innovation, and if only one party is happy, the marriage is not likely to last. So this is an example or a comparison between a marriage and a partnership. So meaning this should have mutual benefits and needs. Commitment and top management support. Right partner, start at the highest management level, opportunities to grow, internal attitude and approach. According to Stephen R. Covey, without involvement, there is no commitment. Mark it down, asterisk it, circle it, underline it. No involvement, no commitment. Next is change management. So if ever you feel stressed or distracted from their business or from their core businesses, you should prepare to manage change. According to Stephen Covey, the key to successful change management is remaining focused on a set of core principles to change regardless of the circumstances. Next is information sharing and lines of communication. So communication should be or can be formal and informal lines. High degree of trust, maintain confidentiality, open channels of communication, success of partnerships, non-disclosure of agreements, quality and accuracy of information shared, loss of trade secrets. According to U.S. Economic Act of 1996, all forms and types of financial, business, scientific, technical, economic, or engineering information, including patterns, plans, compilations, programs, devices, formulas, designs, prototypes, methods, techniques, processes, features, programs or codes, whether tangible or intangible, and whether are how stored, compiled, or memorialized physically, electronically, graphically, photographically, or in writing. This is what communication and information sharing means. Capabilities. When we say capabilities, that should have right capabilities, cross-functional team capabilities, right technology, flexible supplier, and supplier with technology and technical expertise. Performance metrics. You can't improve what you can't measure. Quality, cost, delivery, and flexibility. Metrics provision, criteria, technical expertise, lead times, environmental awareness, and market knowledge. Total cost of ownership, or TCO, is a broad-based performance metric that has been widely discussed in the supply chain literature. There are three major cost categories for performance metrics. First is the pre-transaction cost. These costs are incurred prior to order and receipt of the purchased goods. Example is certifying and training suppliers. Next is transaction. These costs include the cost of the goods or services and costs associated with placing and receiving the order. Example is purchase price, preparation of orders, and delivery costs. Third is post-transaction costs. These costs are incurred after the goods are in the possession of the company, agents, or customers. Example is field failures, company's goodwill reputation, maintenance costs, and warranty costs. So again, the three major cost categories for performance metrics are pre-transaction cost, transaction cost, and post-transaction cost. Here's an example of supplier performance metrics. They have measured 8 performance categories. So they have the cost, the quality, delivery, responsiveness and flexibility, environment, technology, business metrics, and total cost of ownership. So for the cost and price, we measure the competitive price, availability of cost breakdowns, productivity improvement production program, willingness to negotiate, inventory cost, information cost, transportation cost, actual cost compared to historical or standard cost, target cost, cost reduction goal or benchmark cost, and then cooperation leading to improved cost. Next is quality. If the product has zero defects, statistical process controls, continuous process improvement, fit for use, corrective action program, documented quality programs such as ISO 9000, actual quality compared to historical quality, specification quality, target quality, quality improvement compared to historical quality, and quality improvement goals, and then extent of cooperation leading to improved quality. Next is delivery. If the delivery is fast, reliable, or on time, defect-free, actual delivery compared to promised delivery window, such as 2 days early to 0 days late, and then extent of cooperation leading to improved delivery. Next is responsiveness and flexibility. Responsiveness to customers, accuracy of record keeping, ability to work effectively with teams, responsiveness to changing situations, participatory success or participation or success of supplier certification program, short cycle changes in demand, flexible capacity, changes in delivery schedules, participation in new product development, solving problems, willingness of supplier to seek inputs regarding product service changes, advance notification given by supplier as a result of product service changes, and receptiveness to partnering or teaming. Next is environment. If the products are environmentally responsible, environmental management systems such as ISO 14, extent of cooperation leading to improved environmental issues. Six, proactive improvement using proven manufacturing service technology, superior product service design, extent of cooperation leading to improved technology. And then seven is business metrics. Reputation of supplier, leadership in the field, long-term relationship, quality of information sharing, financial strength such as Dun and Bradstreet credit rating, then strong customer support group, total cash flow, rate of return on investment, of cooperation leading to improved business processes and performance. The next is the total cost of ownership. Purchase product, ship cost effectively, and then cost of special handling, additional support or supplier costs as the result of the buyer's scheduling and shipment needs, and then cost of defects, rework, and problem solving associated with purchases. So these are the characteristics of a supplier that are measured for performance metrics. So be sure that you select supplier that has everything excellent in all of these factors or all of these considerations when having or choosing them as graded by performance metrics. Continuous improvement. Continuously making small series of improvements over time. Willingness to continuously improve capabilities of both the buyers and suppliers. Proactively working towards eliminating mistakes and ability to adapt in a dynamic environment. Next is supplier evaluation and certification. This is very important because with activity, you are able to select the best suppliers, the organization's key suppliers, tracking of product and service quality as part of the supplier rating system, supplier evaluation and certification process, and facts about supplier capability. The goal for this activity is to evaluate suppliers or evaluating suppliers to determine if the supplier is performing according to the buyer's requirements. Supplier certification is an organization's process for evaluating the quality systems of key suppliers in an effort to eliminate incoming inspections of supplier evaluation. So this is defined by the Institute of Supply Management. Weighted criteria evaluation system. So first is select the key dimensions of performance mutually acceptable to both customer and supplier. So these are the ways on how to come up with a weighted criteria evaluation system. Next is to monitor and collect performance data, and then assign weights to each of the dimensions of performance based on the relative importance to the company's objectives. The weight for all dimensions must sum to 1. And then evaluate each of the performance measures on a rating between 0, fails to meet any intended purpose or performance, and 100, exceptional in meeting intended purpose or performance. Then 5 is to multiply the dimensions ratings by the respective importance, weights, and then sum to get an overall weighted score. Then classify vendors based on their overall scores. Then last is the audit and ongoing certification review. This is an example of supplier scorecard. So we have here the performance measure. Okay, we have the technology, quality, responsiveness, delivery, cost, environmental, business. Okay, then we have here the rating, the weight, and the final value. We have here the total score and then the final value. So for this example, technology was rated 80% with a weight of 0.10 with a final value of 8. Then quality was rated with 90% with a weight of 0.25 and with a final value of 22.15. And then responsiveness was weighted 95 multiplied by the weight 0.15 and equals to 14.25 final value. Then delivery had a rating of 90% multiplied with a final value of 13.15. And then environmental had a rating of 90 and then multiplied by 0.05 weight and then had a final value of 4.50. And then for the business aspect, had a rating of 90% multiplied to the weight of 15 or 0.15 and then with the final value of 13.50. So the total weight is 1 and then the final value is 88.25. So based on the total score of 88.25, the XYZ company is considered a certified supplier. Again, this is an example for supplier scorecard, okay, in connection to weighted criteria evaluation system for suppliers. Okay, let's go now to the ISO, or what is ISO, or the International Organization for Standardization. This is an ISO standard, or an ISO standard is a documented agreement containing technical specifications or other precise criteria to be used consistently as rules, guidelines, or definitions of characteristics to ensure that materials, products, processes, and services are fit for their purpose. It can be anything from a 4-page document to one several hundred pages long. It is usually also available in electronic form. It carries the ISO logo and the designation international standard. Okay. Philippines ISO 90 is to 2008 standard. To keep customers satisfied, the organization needs to meet their requirements. The ISO 9001 is to 2008 standard provides a tried and tested framework for taking a systematic approach to managing the organization's process so that they consistently product that satisfy customers' expectations. ISO 9001 is to 2008 is the standard that provides a set of standardized requirements for a quality management system. Some of the Philippines ISO certification requirements are monitoring processes to ensure they are effective, keeping adequate records, checking output for defects with appropriate and corrective action where necessary, regularly reviewing individual processes and the quality system itself for effectiveness and facilitating continual improvement. Next, ISO is a non-governmental organization or NGO. This is a network of the National Standards Institute of some 162 countries with a central office in Geneva, Switzerland that coordinates the system and publishes the finished for traditional activities such as agriculture and construction. Through mechanical engineering to the newest information and communications technology or ICT. So for the ISO standard is 2200. And then for the tourism accommodation, ISO 18513. And then for quality management for hotel management, ISO 9001. And for environmental management, ISO 1400. Okay, these are some of the products, hotel amenities and restaurants, even quality management that are ISO certified. Okay. Okay. Next is supplier development. This is any activity that a buyer undertakes to improve a supplier performance and or capabilities to meet the buyer's short and long-term supply needs. A seven-step approach to supplier development. Number one is to identify critical goods and services. Identify critical suppliers not meeting performance. Form a cross-functional supplier development team. Meet with top management of suppliers. Rank supplier development projects. Define the details of the buyer supplier agreement and monitor project status and modify strategies. Supplier recognition program. This is the achievement for the best suppliers, serves as role model for other suppliers. Criteria are ability to meet requirements, make timely deliveries, provide accurate administrative, maintain inventories, customer support, and awareness of environmental concerns. Supplier relationship management, SRM, is extended procurement processes such as sourcing, analytics. Example is spend analysis, sourcing execution, procurement execution, payment and settlement, and closing the feedback loop, and even supplier scorecarding and performance monitoring. According to global consultant Accenture, SRM encompasses a breadth of capabilities that facilitate collaboration, sourcing, transactions, execution, and performance monitoring between an organization and its trading partners. There are five tenets of an SRM. First is automation or activity with the use of technology. Next is integration that provides a view of the supply chain that spans multiple departments, processes, software applications for internal users and external partners. Next is visibility. Visibility of information and process flows in and between organizations. Views are customized by role and aggregated via a single portal. And then four is collaboration, sharing information and suppliers' ability to input information directly into an organization's supply chain information system. And the number five is optimization, processes and decision making to enhance analytical tools. So I have here a video about the relationship. Kindly watch this via YouTube. Okay? This will be an added learning materials for you. Okay? That will be all for today. I hope you learned something from our discussion for today. I hope you are all safe and healthy. God bless us all and stay safe, everyone.